Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening to you and welcome to the 7th round of our Formula 1 League at RWB International. This 7th round is at Hungaroring, Hungaroring, whichever way you want to say it. It's in Hungary. And I'm joined tonight by our good friend Draco. Draco, good evening to you.
Good evening, Mr. Tiger. It is a beautiful day here in Hungary.
Isn't it, Justin? It wasn't too bad here in the United Kingdom today. We're in October, usually sort of pre-tornado, pre-nasty weather type of month, but it was quite nice today. So I'm glad it's been good there. And virtually, look at Hungary. I mean, the sun's out, not a cloud in the sky. Looks pretty good out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, they got a nice little crowd out there too to play to. There's optimal track conditions. Honestly, doesn't get much better than this.
Not really, no. So, quick bit of... so, this is the 7th round. 7th round. Last week they were at Mid-Ohio. Oh, I missed that. And I also missed the Silverstone one. I just had 2 weeks worth of an illness that would wipe out an entire population. But I fought through. And I've come out the other side. Whilst our good friend Speed, our resident alien, is also struggling out there. So get well to him and to a few other RWB members. This nasty old virus that's going around. Hopefully won't all turn into zombies and start munching on each other's earlobes. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes these things hit populations fairly hard, and they have done here. So, what can I tell you, Draco, about this track? Hungaroring. Well, 20k north of the city of Hungary in Budapest. Beautiful Budapest. GP circuit, this one. 2.72 miles, 4.38 kilometers, 16 corners, 9 of them around to the right and 7 left. Corner types of particular note. Well, on this circuit we've got 2 parabolicas and 1 extended parabolica. Do you know what a parabolica is, Draco?
Oh yes, it's a curve that makes you want to curl your toes, grit your teeth, and hang on for dear life.
Yeah, it's a corner of equal radius. So 2 parabolicas between turn 12 and turn 14. Actually, they're sort of turn 12 sweeps into turn 13 and then sweeps into turn 14. Right at the very end of the circuit, 2 parabolicas there. And 1 extended parabolica, which is at turn 5, and that's when the exit is at an acute angle to the entry. So 3 parabolicas in total, and that's at turn 5. 1 hairpin, which is at turn 1, fairly sharp corner, a bit like Nürburgring, for example. You've got that really tight hairpin at T1. Everyone bites their nails because they're waiting to see a huge pile up. But that's at turn 1. And so 14, actually there's 16 corners in total, as I said, but they're all just named, T1, T2, T3. They're not named as such, which is always a shame. One of my pet hates. There's no reason why a corner can't be named after any great male or female racing drivers out there. So the first racing venue behind the Iron Curtain, actually. Built in 1985, very much a political statement to the world from the communist area on the eastern side of the Iron Curtain. Pretty much saying, come along to Hungary. We've got some great culture. We've got a racing track. We're modern. You're not going to get locked up by the Stasi. So it was very much a political statement. Oh, as we just see C-Hacks there zipping into somebody. But very much a political statement. And you know what? Fair play is a political statement, because with all the resource infringements that were happening, or the resource restrictions, I should say, that was in Hungary at the time, it took 8 months, Draco, to build this track. 8 months.
That's quite a feat in and of itself, considering the complexity of the track, and especially when the curtain came down, the lack of resources some of these countries had. So it's definitely an impressive feat.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you consider now, of course. The first Formula 1 race was in 1986, won by Nelson Piquet. And guess what? Every single Formula 1 since then. So from something that was born behind the Iron Curtain with limited resources, limited finance, done in very, very quickly. It was instantly graded as a Grade 1 FIA track, which is exceptionally hard to do. And its first, Formula One race was less than a year later in 1986, won by Nelson Piquet. So an immense, huge, successful political statement. You usually find that, sadly, behind all sports sort of achievements, there is some form of political or national statement. In this case, well done Hungary in Zhuhai, for example, well done China, and so on and so on. So there's plenty of circuits out there where you actually start looking into the history, you realise that, in the background there's an awful lot of work going on to raise the profile of the country or whatever. 200,000 people saw Nelson Piquet won that first Formula One race. So there's plenty of people can get around this track and watch the action. It's a Marmite circuit. It's you either love it or you hate it, and the reason for that is it's in a slight bowl and the dust settles down at the bottom. Pretty much between turn 3 all the way around to turn 10, it's in a lower part of the track. So the surface construction is lacking in some areas, and the grip comparison to other tracks and overtaking is perceived to be very difficult. Nigel Mansell was the first to put that to bed in 1989, memorably, overtaking Senna actually on the outside whilst he dealt with a back marker, and he went on to take victory. So there you go. So there's Hungaroring. I don't like this circuit, to be honest with you, but what I like and what I don't like is irrelevant because I'm not racing tonight. These guys are out there. What do you like about this track, if anything?
Kaz and the old man Charger took me out on this track in one of these cars, and you're absolutely right. This is kind of a love-hate relationship track, man. I love everything after turn 4. Things are fast. It's flat out. It's all about positioning. When you get back down towards that base leg and the straightaway, it's all about your turn management. It's getting on those tracks. It's probably one of the more technical areas to kind of find your racing line, find a way to go ahead and maximize your speed. It took me 2.5 hours just to barely get under 129, and it's a tough track to manage.
Yeah, and that's a really, fair play. 129. Yeah, my fastest around here was in an F1, which was only five times around, but that was a 126. And I dare say, if I'd given a little bit more effort, given a little bit more time, and liked the circuit a bit more, and spent some time setting the car, I reckon I could knock 5 seconds off of that. I don't think I'd go faster around there, to be honest with you. Now, what are these boys doing? 1:15.010 is the fastest around here at the minute, with C-Hacks going down to a 1:19 with FX. So, even our fastest is not in amongst the slowest for the current 16 runners, which really gives you some sort of idea how much time and energy and effort. It's a sim, but there's some real life commitment that's been given into this for the good and benefit of not just their own performance but everyone else they're racing with. C-Hacks today, for example, I was watching him, he was on lap 166 in some timings there.
The guy is devoted.
Yeah, it is. And we're looking at Rodders there, and even Rodders said, Christ, fair play to C-Hacks, the amount of time that he's put in there. So watch out tonight for C-Hacks, Rodders and Rigel. They're always the ones to watch out for. But don't forget, old Squid Flipper Squid, Luca Gray, currently qualified in 4th place. And Pinto, Audi, Jammer, Dave Crew. These are fast people out there. So, I'm willing to bet this will be, 3 sort of packets as a sort of race progresses. But, very impressive lineup out there.
Keep in mind too that we've got 16 people on this track, and as you can tell from some of these shots here, especially in the turns, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. Your racecraft is really going to come into play. Your good sportsmanship is definitely going to be needed, but you're going to need to go ahead and keep this raging bull out of the gate under control. It is very unforgiving with some of these areas. You can definitely pile up in no time. Some of these tighter corners as well are a little blind when it comes to who's coming up from the inside. It is really a testament about how good these guys are going to be on this course.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Riding with Dave Crew then as he just goes into in and out of one of the chicanes there. Let me see now, let me orientate myself. So yeah, through turn 8, through turn 9, fast sweeper around turn 9, and all the way down into what is essentially turn 11, which is a 90 right. A lot of people think it's more than that, but it's not. And this is where the first of the parabolicas is, bang, into turn 12. Turn 12A into turn 13 and exiting out to turn 14. This parabolica here, some people enter that wrong, and that can make things difficult. But just as a quick sort of rundown, we're coming down the main straight towards turn 1, that hairpin. And as I said, that flicks around 270 degrees, and there's several different ways of taking that. Over to the right here, moving all the way over to the right, braking point just short of the old Candy there. And then round the extended parabolica, T2, flick through the kink on T3, down the hill and then up the hill towards T4, always catches me that corner, and then into T5, an extended parabolica with a acute angle on the exit, up to T6 and T7, 6, 7, and then a little straight into turn 8, turn 9, which is a 90 right, extend away into turn 10, which is a kink of 20 degrees, into turn 11, which is a 90 right, and then all the way down into turn 12. I think I said turn 11 before. This straight is down towards turn 12A. This is turn 12A. This is the first of the main parabolicas, and then an extend away. Oh, be careful. There we go, Dave. Well done. Into turn 13, and then 14, which is this exit. And there you go. There's a lap of Hungaroring. And I said also very calmly, didn't I? But I wouldn't be able to do it as fast as Dave Crew done that. No way, forget it.
There are quite a few turns here that I was having a lot of difficulty. Turn 1, turn 8, turn 9, turn 12, and 14. Your positioning in is going to be very, very key as to how you go ahead and exit that turn and maintain those speeds. Those are the ones that I had by far and wide the most trouble with as I was, practicing on this track. I mean, Dave Crew made that look easy, and if he made that look easy, I can only wonder what the rest of this crew is going to do.
Yeah, quite. All right, well, there's the rundown then. We've got 18 seconds left before we then go into a warm-up. I will pick out Luca Gray there. That squid flipper has not changed his tag. You should have done that, but there we go. So, yeah, you can see the rundown there. So Rigel pipped to 114.861 with Seahacks in second with a 114.969 with Rodders on a 115.075. Now, Rigel will be happy with that. I know he will be happy with that. But as I said, Seahacks put a lot of time in to get the sub 150. Sub 115s on here is exceptional. 116s is 116s and under is exceptionally fast. If you have a look at the leaderboard for the world, they are around this sort of speed. 114s is right up there amongst hundreds, thousands of people who have done it. So you really are not just looking at any sort of normal group out here. The slowest on that last one was that 119. My fastest is a 122. So, that just gives you some sort of idea. This is why we sit in this horrible, sweaty commentary box. And why haven't you cleaned up, Draco? Why am I actually looking around? Why am I looking around, Draco?
Wait. I cleaned up the last time. I wasn't in this booth last time. Hold on now.
I'm just had some of my wife's rice pudding, fellas. Yeah, so anyway, the point is super fast round here. Super fast. And, fair play to all of them. 4 minutes left of qualifying warm-up. No effect on their tyres or the chassis or the fuel or anything else. This is simply for them, again, to use that sort of orientation time and get out there and just refine any sort of muscle memories that they've got or any last minute sort of play arounds or let's be frank about it, sit and have a cup of tea. Al, have a cup of tea, mate. Have a cup of coffee. I believe Al's our French buddy. Al, have a coffee. Coffee, monsieur? Bon. So Al has a cup of coffee, and Jammer will be sitting there twanging his guitar, and you know, who else? Audi will be sitting. Oh look, Audi will be sitting there sharpening his chainsaw and his axe. FX will be watching the stream to make sure it's working fine. H-Tune will be considering his. Oh no, H-Tune's not a bus driver. What? H-Tune's sitting there anyway, playing with himself probably. Charger is wondering if his missus really does love him and why he's sitting in a shed while he's sitting in a lovely house. Pinpoint is considering whether he wants to upgrade from that new podium as he strokes and licks the front fascia. Cos is wondering whether he should have left Nottingham in the first place, as he now lives out in the middle of beautiful rural Ireland. Yes, of course you should have done, but don't move from where you are is what I'd say. Who else is sitting there? Rigel is sitting there exceptionally smug at the fact that he's come first. And is pretty much looking around now, sniffing at them all as he sort of, you know, curls down the bottom.
You call that racing? That's not racing.
That's not racing. Are any of you actually coming to a race today, or what? Luca Gray is trying to work out how to change his tag to make sure it's RWB. Who else? Debug is wondering, Jesus Christ, you know, I'm back after a few years out of the seat. Is this really for me still? Of course it is. Who else? I think that's it. I think that's pretty much all of them.
I got some interesting news for you, though, Tiger. I did take the pleasure of taking a look at the Raceroom Racing Experience leaderboard for the FR X17.
Go on then.
RWB actually has the top 2 spots for Hungaroring in the car. C-Hacks at 116.9, Pinpoint at 117.2. So right now we are
117. Bloody hellfire! You know, and they're putting in 114s here. So there you go. You know, what's the moral of the story? Don't just go by a leaderboard. Plus, of course, there's two different setups for a car: qualifying setup and a race setup. And I particularly like some of the approaches by some of the more senior and more experienced lads in RWB, where they will very happily not just go balls out to get a quick qualifying time. They'll spend a good percentage of their time refining a quick qualifying time, but then they'll spend just as long, if not longer, putting the miles on and setting their car up for race setup and making sure they've got a good consistent time as they zip around, which is just as fair. You know, I mean, that's just as important. I mean, rather than just a quick qualifying time, is the race pace.
Couldn't agree more, but it's definitely a testament to how much these guys are really pushing the envelope compared to most of the other guys that are embroiled into the Raceroom racing experience as well. So this will be fun.
Yep, for sure. All right, that brings us to a close on the warm-up then for round 7 at Hungaroring. We're now going to break out from warm-up, and there'll be a minute for the guys to get themselves on the track. Shout out to Charger, who says shitting it. I think that means that he's a little bit concerned on his performance and how that would be reflective of his senior position in RWB after tonight's performance. And shout out to Madley, who's obviously called for this race to be one that he's going to drop. They've all got a pit stop to make. They've all got to make a minimum of 4 tyres change. They don't have to take on fuel if they don't want to. They could run with a full tank of fuel. So they could run with a full tank of fuel, so that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what the tyre strategy is. We have seen significant impact on tyre strategies over the past few races, particularly Luca Gray and Rigel, the sort of soft, hard, soft, or the soft, medium, soft, sorry, or even soft, as was the case in at one place with Luca. And they're away. Right, enough waffling. Okay, so a bit difficult at the front there to see who's holding who. But let's flip that on to Rodders. Rodders stays in first position into T1. Pinto in second place with Rodders, C-Hacks in third, Jammer in fourth, Luca Gray, old squid flipper, in fifth, Audi following in sixth. They're all clean around there. Dave Crew
Great
in
start.
seventh. Rigel in eighth. Something clearly happened at the beginning there, or as he just gains a place there. Importantly though, that very easy to make a screw up at the start there. So all the guys are told by the race director, you could say, listen, the first lap, you know, the first lap is important. This is not a train. You do not have to follow each other around on the first lap, but, you know, racecraft is important, and if you compromise that at the position of 1 or 2 places and make it difficult for someone else and ruin their race, you know, the world will come on your head. No different than it would in real life. So the first lap is very important to ensure that they've got that time to spread out, to find their place, to make the advantages whilst they're all close up without compromising their position or safety to other racers out there.
And keep in mind, too, that these first 2 laps are going to be a little hairy. The tires have got to get warm. The brakes got to get up to speed. You know, so things can definitely happen. But it looks like very good spacing right now. Not a whole lot of crazy action out in the race. And, well, it looks like we're probably past the worst of it now.
Yeah, I'd say so. Rodder's out the front there with, you know, what's he got? He's got a, well, actually we're on the second lap, aren't we? So, you know, he's you know, got a 1.5 second lead in front of Pinto already. He's on soft tyres, so I'm going to say that he's got, you know, approximately around here, I reckon about 15 laps, I reckon, around there before he'll look at, you know, coming in and giving those tyres a change. But he's on soft tyres. So is Pinto. Pinto is also on soft tyres. Seahax is on medium tyres. Now that's interesting, because Seahax undoubtedly, averagely, over the past week, this guy has practiced every single day and has put in hundreds and hundreds of miles around this track, and he's on mediums. So it'd be interesting to see whether actually Rodders out there in first place can, you know, pull away from the main group. And he's doing that at the minute. I mean, he's 1.6, 1.7 seconds. You know, he knows that Seahax, that Jammer in 4th place, great for Jammer, but Seahax, Rigel, Pinto, they're all quick, and so he's going to want to gain as much advantage as he can out there up front before, pretty much, as I said, around about lap 15, lap 16 comes, when them tyres are going to really start to affect his timings, and he's going to have to think about coming in.
We're going to need to start looking in right around laps 12 to 14. We're going to start seeing some strategies come into play. Fuel, not so much, but exactly like you said, tires are going to be a huge part in this. The tire wear on this track is insane. So we will definitely see how that pans out.
Yes, for sure. And just flicked onto Luca Gray there. Luca Gray leading this sort of second pack, or a bit of no man's land there. But the first pack of Rodders, Pinto and Seahax are pretty much out on their own, those first 3. And then you've got Jammer in sort of no man's land, as you can see him there, with you know, a couple of seconds either side. Fantastic to see Jammer up there. I bet he's singing Ed Sheeran to himself as he zips around turn 14. But you've got Luca Gray, you know, Squid Flipper, the kid, as you refer to him, you know, pretty much leading that third pack, really. Although, as I say that, typically commentators curse, he moves away into his own bit of no man's land. But Audi leading, and we see Pinpoint and Rigel piling on the pressure there, and riding with Rigel, actually, you can see him focusing on Audi coming into turn 3.
Oh!
Yeah, that was a bit hard there, but ultimately no harm done, I think. I think that was Pinpoint, yeah. Rigel will certainly be aiming to get his own back and get that position back from Pinpoint, but, you know...
Yep, that was a good clean line on the inside, Tiger. That was a nice run.
It absolutely was. It was a clean line, and I'm afraid we didn't have a wider shot to see whether that was a bit risque. But bottom line is no harm caused, no damage, well, I saw no racing rules broke, so a fair move, I think. Bottom line is Rigel will stay focused, but good move by Pinpoint.
And looks like Rodders is now still extending that lead. He was sitting there at about 2.2 there from first to second.
Yeah, Rodders up in first place there, as we just see him go around T1. But oh, whoops. I don't know why I'm saying sorry to myself for. I was trying to move something off the screen, but Yeah, so yeah, Rodder's way out the front there with 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds to Pinto. Pinto in second place. In fact, you know what? Let's take this time. Let's take this time to have a rundown. So, you know, I'll do the cameras for you. Why don't you, well, you have control. Why don't you give us a rundown, top 5?
So right now we're actually on board here with Rodders, sitting in first. Right now is extending the lead to 2.1. We have Pinto in second, Seahacks in third, Jammer bringing out in fourth, Luca Gray in fifth right now. Pinto definitely has got his work cut out for him, and man, Luca looks a little bit tough on that turn. Extending out from Luca, we got 6th is Pinpoint, 7th is Rigel, 8th is Audi, 9th is Dave Crew, bringing up that kind of scrum right now. Charger in 10th, Flack in 11th, FX in 12th, H-Tune in 13th, Debug in 14th, Kaz in 15th, and Al Gartner really bringing up the rear. Can't help but wonder something happened to his car there.
No, I think it's just a simple case of that's Al Gartner's tactic, really. A bit like Kaz. He'll stay on the grey stuff. Oh, as we just see Luca there. Oh, wow. We just see Luca.
A little too aggressive.
Let's try and find him. Let's try and find him. Luca had a bit of an off there, coming down the hill from T3. I hope his car isn't damaged, but the bottom line is he's now down 11th, so he will now be playing chase up. He'll be playing catch up, and he's much faster than those in front of him. He's behind Flack 9 at the minute, RWB Flack, much quicker than Flack. But you know, Luca, you're going to have to bring a AAA game because you know no one's going to be giving you position. You're going to have to work hard now and get around these cleanly. So we'll keep a very, very close eye on that. But that's all it takes. The good thing is this is not a short race. You know, this is an hour and 20 minutes. And if you've ever done, you know, 10 minutes in an F1 car in a sim, particularly Raceroom where it's modelled exceptionally well, in a direct drive or a direct drive or a decent wheel, 10 minutes you're exhausted. Go and do an hour and 20 minutes. Go and do an hour and 20 minutes. It is not easy. It is physically quite demanding. He says, you know, ex-infantry soldier says that sim racing is physically demanding. Stop press. Well, that's fact. It is actually. It is quite hard and hard on the concentration. So, you know, it's very easy to lose focus, even in the early days, and just have a little mistake like Luca done there. But you've got the time. You've got the time, Luca. Play it sensibly. You've got the time to claw it back. You've got an hour and 11 minutes. So, you know, youthful exuberance. You see Luca there tackling on the inside into the chicane. Crikey, 2 positions coming into T6 and 7 there. You know, youthful exuberance and bravery. He just needs no fear tattooed on his forehead. You know, fair play is what I say, but probably, you know, he could have perhaps waited and made sure that there was no threat there. But you can't take it away from him.
The kid is just fast and loose in those corners, though. It could be dangerous. You gotta watch that. Temper those speeds there, kid.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, fair play. No one was hurt. He got in, etc. But that was a little bit too much. You might have people poking you. You might have people poking you after this race for that. But anyway, Luca Gray then, 10th place. We'll keep an eye on him. Let's have a look at the others around there. On the wing with Pinpoint, right behind him, the chief track master. That's not smug enough. The chief track master, very clearly gaining on Pinpoint there, and I know that he will want to take that position back. I'll stay with these for a while, as we saw Pinpoint earlier on. You know, on lap 2, just nip on the inside at T1A, and just take that away from Rigel. So. You know, Rigel applying the pressure there. And interestingly enough, you know, Pinpoint is on softs, Rigel is on mediums. You know, we're on lap 8 now. And I reckon around about lap 15 is when we're going to start to see problems with those who are on softs. So, you know, Rigel will quite happily just sit there, won't he? And just keep the pressure on Pinpoint, and he'll know when those tyres start to go off. Clearly, Rigel has got more laps in him than Pinners has with those softs.
It's simply a waiting game for Rigel there. It's just a matter. All he has to do is keep his wits about him, stay on the gray part, and keep the tires as fresh as he can.
Yeah, just looking at the inside there coming to turn one, but you know, although you know, Pinpoint didn't move over onto the defensive line at all, he was quite happy he had this sort of speed advantage to make Rigel really go deep into that corner, and Rigel thought best of it obviously and just slackened off. I know what he would have done. He would have just said to himself, oh, okay, Pinners, I'll have you on the next lap. So Pinners is saying, well, okay, then I'll see you on the next lap then. So we'll as we watch these two going through turn 6 and 7, Charger's just got a slow down penalty through track limits abuse. That's a bit of a shame. I know that he will give that up as quick as he can. But very obviously, lots of other races around there. Just want to see these two tackle that the end of the straight down towards T1 again. See whether Rigel can make up that time, and then we'll zip around and see what else is going on.
Anyone else thinks it's kind of interesting at the top 5, 4 are on soft tires right now? This is going to get really interesting around lap 14.
Absolutely. Rigel, I don't think quite close enough to Pinpoint to make an advantage coming down into turn 1. No, he's not. And actually looking at the timings there, you know, Rigel just put a 117.632 in versus Pinners' 117.177. So, you know, is Pinners holding Rigel up? No, I don't think he is. I think you know, clearly we know that Rigel can go faster because of qualifying, but Rigel has the advantage in my view because he has medium tyres and he is. And there you go. There's some time lost there. Rigel will exploit that. He says as he closes up, coming up to T6, and exit in T7. And look, you know, he's right behind him. So I think he'll have that. They'll have that off him, and he's starting to challenge now, isn't he? You know, he's applying the pressure, certainly applying the pressure. We're just in Luca Gray there, got a slow down penalty.
Yeah, now the head games begin. This will be interesting.
Whilst this is going on, ladies and gents, Rodders right at the front there is, you know, 1.3 seconds in front of Pinto. So by no means is the game over, you know, with regards to gaining that sort of that extension away from everyone else, as we thought Rodders undoubtedly his intent was. Pinpoint going defensive there, but then, well, going middle of the track, that'll be enough for Rigel to take that all the way around. Thanks very much, Pinners. Bye bye. Now, if Pinners had gone on the defensive line rather than middle of the track, I know what he was doing. He was forcing Rigel to go deeper and brake later by going in the middle rather on the braking line. If he'd gone on the defensive line, then actually he would have been much further over, as we were looking at him, over to the left, but stayed in the middle. So a good tactic by him, but not enough to deter the chief track master for having to go.
Agreed. And plus, you know, it's still a little bit early. No heroic maneuvers needed yet. You know, everything is still kind of formulating around. We're still a little bit over an hour left in the race, you know, so there's no need for anything heroic. It's pretty much, you know, playing it business as usual, but there's definitely a little racecraft going on there, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and you know what? We miss some bloody racecraft with Pinto. Old Thomas, our buddy from Portugal, he closed up on that 137 that Rodders had. Clearly Rodders had obviously made a mistake or whatever. Yeah, but you know, we saw Pinto take him. Now Rodders is 0.3 of a second behind him, coming down into turn into turn 2, down the hill and into the kink of turn 3, and then down the hill some more, and then up to turn 4. And Rodders is staying with him. And we're on lap 12 now. Oh yes, and Rodders takes him on the inside. Surely, all the way around turn 5, up the hill into turn 6, and Rodders has got the line. Pinto has lost that position. Either side, let's extend out and have a wider view. These two battling now into turn 9. As we saw Rodders exploit the opportunity that Pinto offered. But in the background there, Seahacks on medium tyres, so his tyres are nowhere near as affected. He's just quite happily saying, you crack on fellas, because you can either take each other out or you can just get out the way, because my tyres are better than yours right now.
It's that proverbial knife fight in the phone booth right now, and now you got another person in the mix. This is going to be interesting, and Hax doesn't have to do anything crazy because he's on those medium tires. He can extend, or he can just wait it out and then build his lead when the other two go in.
Yeah, fantastic with these front three here. You know, 0.8 of a second between first and third, as they're extending, moving down towards this. Towards T3, T2 and down into T3, and Rodders really, you know, clearly we missed something there. I don't believe, you know, with all respect, I don't think for a minute that Rodders would have just given up 1.3 seconds in one lap, unless he had had a slight off or a slight, you know, something happened there in order for Pinto to have exploited that. I don't think Pinto caught that up, you know, organically, if there is such a thing in F1 as organic speed. I don't think there is. It sounds nice, it tastes nice, organic speed.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's organic about it, but...
No.
Well, look at this!
Oh, yeah, C-Hax exploits out on the inside. Lots of bunching going on there. But, you know, Rodders staying right with him. Rodders back down now into third place. I think Rodders is really starting to feel these tyres going off. Hungaroring is exceptionally hard on tyres. Why? Because it's fast. Because you've got parabolicas that tear these tyres to shreds. They're on lap 14 now, these front runners. Lap 14. And I think they'll probably, you know, I said 15 really is, you know, the optimum place where you want to get rid of your soft tyres around here. But of course, you've got to bear in mind a couple of things. One, that's not me referring to any reference material. That's me, my pace. C-Hax now looking at Pinto, but that's me at my pace. That isn't the same as these guys for a start. And you may well find that these guys, C-Hax looking on C6 and C7.
He's still on the outside.
Them both, yeah. Rodders behind them both saying, go on, take each other out. Rodders has taken Pinto and Rodders, no. Pinto is, yes, Rodders has taken Pinto. Rodders is in second place. But look at C-Hax already, 1.4 seconds, moving away. Rodders and Pinto are now suffering with tyres, no question. And C-Hax now is going to extend away from those two, I'm willing to wager.
Now they're coming. Hitting the...
Oh, God. Is that just you? Let me just check. I'm not sure whether that was just you or the... Oh, look, it's good old Discord. Thanks, Discord. I'm not sure whether we're a warbling mess now or not. I think we're back now, actually. So, Draco, yeah, say it again.
So you could definitely tell that the soft tires are definitely, or excuse me, that they are starting to show that wear and tear. Coming out of that turn 14, you notice that Rodders and Pinto, who are both on the soft tires, are really taking that exit very wide. Hax was still well within the actual track and still gripping very well. And we're coming up here on a lap that I think we're going to start seeing the soft tire racers right now start really giving a thought about if they need to get in or not.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, he is pulling away. He is maintaining that distance from him. You know, 1.5 seconds. So we'll keep a close eye on them. So C-Hax out in front then. Just put in a 1:18 on the last lap, but we saw lots of, you know, that was him getting the position. So what was his time on this lap with clear air? Let's have a look. 1:16.7. There it is, 1:16.7. And that will come down significantly. Well, you know, that's slow for him. You know, that's just the thing. 1:16 is slow for that fella. It's slow for a lot of them. So, quick rundown there. There's lots going on around the track. Let's go and have a look at what's going on. Rodders in second place then. Just put in a 1:17.090. Rigel in third place. So, clearly, Pinto, we've lost Pinto. We've lost Pinto. No. Pinto's come in for the first stop. So, Pinto has done the first stop. Medium tyres. So, he's gone from soft to medium. Pinto rejoins now in 10th place. That's allowed Rigel with medium tyres up into third place. Fair assessment that he's got a good few laps in him yet. Remember, Pinto is on soft tyres. Rigel is on medium tyres. As well as, you know, first place is also on medium tyres. Pinpoint on soft tyres. They'll be going off. And so will Jammers in 5th place. Their tyres will be going off. Dave Crew in medium has got a few legs left in him yet. And Dave is a very, very smooth racer, Draco. You won't be seeing him. You'll see him race fast and hard, but you won't see him take quite so many chances and risks with regards to sort of, basic racing, racecraft and race strategy. So he's got a few laps in him yet on them tyres.
I'm not sure what happened to Kaz. I think I'm showing engine damage on him. I think he's out of the race.
Yeah, sorry. There we go. Rodder's in the pits on his 16th lap. I said between lap 15 onwards, that's when they'll come in. So I said to you, lap 15 is when I came in. That was on mine. They managed to make their tyres last longer. That's the difference when it comes to tyre wear and strategies. If you're a quicker and better racer, you're able to make these tyres last longer. In their case, a whole lap, 2 laps nearly. Rodders rejoining then in 6th position. He's got about, let me see now. He's got 15, so he's got about 24 seconds to Seahacks, currently in 1st place. I don't know how long you need for a pit stop around it. I think it's got to be up to about 30 seconds, surely, around those sort of timings.
That's what it looks like, and for him to only lose 4 spots is not bad for that pit, so we'll definitely see how that goes on.
Yeah, and a quick rundown now. So Rodders has pitted. He is now on softs. That enables him now to really push that car. We'll keep a close eye on those timings there. Jammer has also pitted. He's on softs, and although he's in 9th place, that enables him to really push. Because in front of him, everyone is on mediums except Rodders, so he's able to really push. Charger, has just pitted, so he's also on softs. And Flack has pitted, he's on softs. The rest have not pitted. Right now Seahacks is out there. Let's have a look at riding with Seahacks to see how these tyres are. It's just so smooth, Seahacks, you can never really tell. Into turn 6, entry, perfect. Exit, perfect.
Wow, that's
He's like
beautiful.
a surgeon. I'm going to have to rename this guy the Surgeon. Yeah, I actually think Al's
He's
a surgeon.
hacking the course.
He's hacking the course, yeah. He is hacking the course. Before anyone even thinks about saying, is it possible to hack the models in Raceroom? No, it's not. You can get that out your head. Seahacks then, out the front. He's got 15 seconds to Rigel, who has also not pitted and also on mediums. And doing a roughly around the same sort of times. The last lap for Seahacks, 1:16.3. For Rigel, 1:16.6. Seahacks has just done a 1:16.5. Rigel just coming around turn 14 now. What will his be? Let's see. 1:16.6 was the last one. This one is a 1:16.6. So these guys' tyres are not going off. As I said, they've got a good few laps in these mediums yet. And they will stay out there for a long while. Meanwhile, of course, Pinpoint is now struggling on those softs. They will just be like marshmallow as Dave Crew takes a look, but just not fast enough, Dave, around coming into turn 1. But Rodders has also pitted. Rodders up into 5th place. Got Audi right behind him. Audi on medium, so he's got a good few laps on him yet. Soft tyres around here will last you about 15 laps. And then just be worth nothing. So the softs have their advantage. You can maintain those sort of paces, but ultimately they'll just drop off. And as we've seen with Seahacks and Rigel, who are on mediums, they're now putting in these sort of race pace fast laps of 1:16.
Now, I'm not quite sure what Pinpoint's using to keep those tires together. Maybe a little chewing gum, some paper mache, and a prayer, I think, at this point. But you could definitely tell, looking at his line, he's really having some problems keeping that on the grey stuff.
Yeah, Dave Crew just gets him. Dave Crew's got him, and there's a couple of reasons for that. 1, Dave Crew's faster, and 2, Pinpoint's tyres. I'm willing to bet Pinpoint, certainly on the next lap, will come in for a pit. They cannot last much longer on those tyres, nor can any of them, to be frank. Everyone who is out there, interestingly enough, everyone who is out there at the minute, they're on mediums or hards, hard being Luca Gray. Luca Gray has switched to hard, so Luca clearly is going the long run. But Al Gartner is also on softs. Al should surely be struggling with those now, being hunted down by, I think that's Rodders actually. hunting him down. Fair play Al as he moves right over, gets out the way. That's how you let faster people go.
Well done,
you.
Al.
Get out the way. Behind him being Cos, I believe that's Cos. No, sorry, that was Luca Gray. Going back to Luca Gray. Luca Gray has now switched to hards. So this is Squid Flipper. Oh, very well avoided there, Luca. And I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Al. That was Al Gartner, actually.
It was Al, yep.
Yeah, so Luca is on the hard. So what does that tell you? Well, we know he's fast. We know that he's fast. He's right up there in the top quadrants of RWB fast. There's no question about that. He's just got a slow down penalty. He'll use turn 6 and 7 to his advantage to bleed that off. I'm willing to bet. We know he's fast. He's now gone on hards. Very unusual. That means I'm willing to bet £1 to a pinch that he will go either the whole race on hards or have one stop and then flick to softs. But he will now have a mission, quite clearly, of going from 14th and trying to climb back and climb through and make his way through the field as best he possibly can. That makes it sound so blasé. Make his way through the field. Let's just revisit that, shall we? He's got Debug in front of him, H-Tube, Flak, Charger, Pinpoint, Jammer, FX, Pinto, Audi, C-Hacks, Rod. He's not going to be making his way through the field anytime soon, notwithstanding the fact that there's that Debug gets commentated curse and then away goes Luca Gray. Yeah, you know, so you know, watch out for the kid, as Draco says.
The only problem with those hard tires and with as twisty and turny as this track is, that's going to make things rather difficult for that lower part of the actual track, where he's got to really monitor his turns and his exit strategies for that speed. He'll be able to get that down the road speed, but it's going to make him suffer in those turns. He's got to watch it.
Yeah, most certainly. Absolutely agree. Now, let's just have a quick reminder of what's going on, shall we? So what is going on? What's going on, Tiger? Well, Rigel was in first place. He hasn't pitted yet. He's on medium tyres. He's just put in a last lap of a 1:17.2. 17 seconds behind him, Dave Crew. Dave Crew, his buddy, is behind him, who's also on medium tyres, has not pitted, and he's just put in a 1:17.6. So they are on par. Now 0.8 of a second behind him, you can see him there in the green and white, Jammer's buddy, which is Rodders, who has pitted and who has now climbed up what was essentially 6 seconds from where he was, because he's now only 18 seconds behind first place. And he is looking at Dave Crew, and he will take Dave Crew, and I'll tell you why. Because Rodders' softs are nowhere near as effective. He's faster than Dave Crew for a start, and Dave Crew's mediums are starting to now go off. I'm willing to bet the mediums
there he goes.
Yeah, exactly. Round turn 12, Bosch.
Rigel's in the pit.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, lap 20, you know, 20 to 23 really is when you're going to start struggling on mediums. And anything over 25 laps on mediums, you're insane. So it was very clear they were going to be coming in. Rodders then back into first place, but he's on softs. This is the thing, and of course right behind him, look, bang, C-Hacks. We know that those softs will last you out about 15 laps, and that's pushing it. So we're expecting Rodders to come in again in another 7 laps at lap 30. Which gives C-Hacks, who's currently 3 seconds behind, again that leapfrog advantage because he's on mediums.
We'll see if they can make them last a little bit longer. I don't know. As the track gets warmer, those tires will start getting chewed through. But, you know, you never know. There's definitely a strategy into play here. And, you know, Rodders is playing it quite well. It's got him at first place so far.
Great news for Audi. Audi currently in third place. He's on mediums as well, just putting a 1:18.7. His fastest being a 1:17.4. We'll stay with Audi and we'll look at his lap time, because his tyres are shot to pieces. He's on lap 23. That's pretty much the maximum, really. Round about lap 23 to 25, you are pushing it.
And he's going.
His lap time will tell us. His lap time will tell us. 1:18.7, 1:18.6. You know, It's not a question of him off the pace, it's a question of him, if that's his race pace, which I don't believe it is because his fastest has been a 1:17.4, you know, these tyres are struggling now, they are struggling. But he's in third, he hasn't pitted, I'm expecting to see him to come in maximum the next 2 laps, I would have said.
I'm gonna just put my name out there and say he's gonna do it on the next lap. Looking at how he's getting through these turns, though, I don't know. He's still maintaining great control.
Yeah, he's an exceptional racer, Audi. They all are, but Audi particularly very clinical. You know, he's a Norwegian serial killer, as we call him, and we call him that because he's so clinical. Some people think that I just said that because he's from Norway and they've had their fair share of serial killers. But what country hasn't? It isn't. It's because the man is a clinician. He's clinical, clean, and usually if there is an issue, it's very rarely, to be frank, something to do with him. It's usually something to do with someone else. But look, there you go. He'll go around for another shot. So fair play. Third place, but 6 seconds behind C-Hax. Can't even see C-Hax. C-Hax will be going around T1 now. But you know, not yet pitted. So you know,
Tiger, he had a better lap. He actually went down to 118 flat.
118 flat, yeah. So he's doing really well, isn't he? So fair play.
Tires? Right. What tire problems? What are you talking about?
Right, yeah, and that's probably what he'd say. What tire problem? Yeah, Rigel in 4th place, just done 1:17.3 on the last lap there. He's on mediums. He has pitted. So you know, time differential between Rigel and Audi is 3 seconds, so we'll keep a close eye on that. We would expect Rigel to close that up, and we'll come revisit that battle as it inevitably happens. So actually, I'm gonna put it out. I'm willing to bet that Audi comes in on this lap. I said lap change, lap 25. I reckon this lap he's going to come in and
just put it out there right now. Luca Gray is now on lap 24 on hards and hasn't pitted yet. Is that a smart strategy? Let's see.
Oh, well, yeah, he goes, he's obviously fine. They're obviously fine for him. He's obviously pushing them.
He's made it till devil for one more lap. No, that's a heck of a risk at this point.
Yeah, I haven't dropped an F-bomb, so I'm going to say it. Fucking Discord, you know, why are you doing this? If necessary, I'll bin Discord and use a different bloody system. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so Audi, yeah, we were talking about Audi and Rigel, and we were saying that Rigel will climb up to Audi, and guess what? You know, I said it would happen, and there he is. You know, 3 seconds he's just done in 1 lap, and closed up to Audi now. Audi, I think, you know, we don't know. We're not in the car with him, and we can't see what he can telemetry-wise or listen to his pit crew. But I'm willing to bet that Audi will not give in to Rigel and let him have it. Of course not. But Audi knows that Rigel has pitted, is on different tyres, and is faster. And I'm willing to bet that Audi will use this time now to come in and get rid of those tyres.
It's going to make him sing for his supper. He's
you know
still
what?
staying
He's still out there. He's still out there. Quite unbelievable. Fair play, Audi, but you're just about to lose that position from the chief track master, as he says, "No," and takes you coming into turn 1. That's my point, is that perhaps Audi could have used that opportunity, knowing that Rigel had pitted and knowing that Rigel was a different compound, to say, you know what, I'm not actually going to start messing around with Rigel. I'll just zip in and use this time now to change the tyres. But fair play. But I'm willing to bet Rigel will now extend away from Audi significantly. Okay, so quick rundown. Rodders out in the front there in first place. C-Hax 5 seconds now behind him. Both of these two have pitted. Rodders is on soft. We're on lap 27. Remember, around about lap 30, you know, those tyres are going to start to go off. That's in 3 laps time. We'll revisit him then. C-Hax in mediums. He's got longer legs on him. Rigel on mediums. He's pitted as well. He's already 1 second in front of Audi. Audi has not pitted and is the highest rated racer out there on medium tyres. And in my view, probably those tyres are now shot, absolutely shot. And if not, well, fair play, Audi. But I'm willing to bet they are They are shot, and he's starting to lose positions now. You know, behind him is Pinto, who's climbed up. You know, essentially a second or two over a second, 1.5 seconds over the past lap.
Painful, Tiger. He's still not in.
Well, no, I don't know about painful, but you know, you can see Pinto behind him, and I do get your point whether it's painful, but Audi knows what he's doing. You could probably find him pushing these tyres to the extreme, going in, coming out on hards, and then doing the long run. We don't know. What we do know is Pinto is behind him, has gained a second in 3 corners. So Pinto is going to be challenging Audi, you know, certainly by the end of this lap or halfway through the next.
It's going to be interesting to see too, because if you look at it too, we're almost halfway through race time. Audi's only been on 1 set of tires. Could he be making a play to go ahead and only have 1 pit?
Well, I think he will. I think he will. I think by virtue of the amount of time he stayed out on mediums, 28 laps, I'm willing to bet that he will come in and probably put hards on and do the full race on hards. Who knows? Who knows? There's so much going on elsewhere. Okay, quick sit rep, guys. There's no battles going on out there. There's a bit of space in between everyone, so we're not missing anybody. Does Audi come in this lap? Yes, he does. Now, actually, I think that Audi, if on reflection, if we were to interview Audi at the end of this, I'm willing to bet, if I was to ask him the question, which was, you know, did you, on reflection, would you have rather come in a couple of laps beforehand? He would either very clearly say, no, I knew what I was doing and I wanted to push those tyres, or he will say, absolutely, I should have come in around about lap 25, 26. But the point is, lap 29, Audi then pits. Pinto has not pitted and he's also on mediums. So, you know, this guy is now pushing it. He's not pitted yet.
And it looks like Luca Gray has exited the race.
Oh, that's a shame. So retirement for Luca and retirement for Koz. Both of these guys, quite unusual, both from the same team. Luca, exceptionally quick, the youthful exuberance, very young and, you know, exceptionally quick out there. And then you've got the one of the more senior members of RWB who will never, ever let it go off the grey stuff. So you've got youthful exuberance and then you've got age and wisdom, and they're both out, sadly.
Coming up on lap 31, well, I should say we're halfway through 30 right now. The race time is just under 42 minutes. We still have 3 racers that have not pitted. We've got Pinto, Debug, and Al Gartner. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Pinto currently in 4th. His last lap was a 1:18.1, well off the pace there. If you consider his fastest lap was a 1:16.2, that gives you some idea of the sort of time differential that he's giving up as a result of pushing those tyres to the limit. But again, you know, he is the sort of guy that may well just come in, you know, pit and put it on hards and do the long run. Who knows? Who knows? Then again, he might not.
Rate, he might make another set of mediums last.
Oh, absolutely. And Audi did. I mean, let's face it. And, you know, I said Audi might go on hards. Well, he went back onto mediums. You know, Audi knows that he can get, you know, of course, you know, significantly longer than, you know, 25 laps. As Pinto goes straight on. What happened there? What happened to Pinto? Did he just lose his braking marker? Or was that a lag?
Like
that lag?
That was server lag. That was server lag, Tiger.
Oh, server lag or Wi-Fi lag. One or the other. I know Pinto sometimes is on Wi-Fi. We can't do Wi-Fi. Quick update on that. Always welcome onto our leagues, anybody, but you're not on Wi-Fi. You've got to be on wired. Wi-Fi just doesn't cut it. So that was lag. So thankfully that didn't actually happen. Now, the other thing, of course, is we mentioned that Rodders out there in first place, currently leading by 7.5 seconds. We said we would expect him to come in around about lap 30 as a result of soft tyres maxing out from 15 laps and onwards. But of course, as the race is going on, the car has got lighter, there's less fuel load. So actually, you know, you can add on a couple of laps there. But he's gone from soft to soft. He's got a 7.5 second lead on C-Hacks. So I'm willing to bet as he just goes around turn 14 on his 31st lap, coming up for lap 32, start of lap 32, bosh, there he goes. That he probably won't be coming in, you know, as we thought lap 30, clearly not, because it's lap 32, but certainly a few more laps on lap 30. I reckon around about lap 35 he'll end up having to come in.
And he looks like he's really trying to make them last. It's going to be really important. And, you know, you did bring up a very good point. You know, less fuel, less tire wear. But, you know, keep in mind, too, as time goes on, the track gets warmer. So it's going to definitely factor that in as well. But, you know, it looks like Rodders is making them work for all they're worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Pinto, extraordinarily. P4. He's out there, hasn't pitted, medium tyres, just done a 117.8. Now Pinto is a very, very quick racer and exceptionally talented, etc. But I don't give a monkeys. Them tyres must be shot right now. But you know what? They don't look it, do they?
No,
they don't look it.
He looks like he's smooth as silk still, and that must be a testament to how good he is, to be honest with you. But yeah, you could definitely see some challenges on the corners, but it's not like he's holding on for dear life to keep it going. But I think we're going to start seeing him make a move really soon.
Yeah, I think so. We'll stay with him just as he comes into turn 13, exiting turn 13 into the final turn 14. Does he come into the pits? No, he doesn't. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's have a quick look at the other racers out there. Al Gartner currently in 14th place, which is the not last, because last is 16th, which is Cos and Lucas. Sadly, they retired. And right behind him, I can't. Let's see if we can get a track map up. Can we get a track map? Yes, we can.
Yep, that would be Pinto.
So that's Pinto. So Pinto takes him on the inside at turn 2 and turn 3. Great. I'll get rid of that track map now. So Al in 14th place there. Then we've got Debug in 13th place. H-Tune in 12th. Chasing down Charger on the wing with Charger. And in cockpit with Charger. Charger chasing down Flak 9, only 0.5 a second, 0.4 of a second. Come around T14 along the straight now. Will Charger have enough speed? Has he got DRS? Of course he has. Bosh, there you go. And he says, thanks very much. I'll just take that off of you. And in fact, I'll have that off of you as well, Jammer. And he will now challenge Jammer. Both of them on softs, all of them on softs. That whole three-way orgy going on there, that soft orgy. Yeah, so Charger up to 10th place. And now looking at hammering the Jammer as the Tuggertron Master. Now, super speed carried through there, excellent. Coming up the hill into turn 6 and 7. Wow. Go on,
he
Charger.
Makes that look easy, doesn't he?
He is making it look easy, and it doesn't actually do practice Charger. It doesn't do the old, yeah, no, I'll go and spend a week on the sim. He's the sort of guy who'll turn up 10 minutes before, have a few laps around, you know, rely upon his previous experience. I know he's put a couple of practice sessions in during the week or whatever, but you know, the fact of the matter is that you know, he's doing well. Now, what's the time differential? He's 1.1 second to Jammer. Will he get DRS going across the line? No. Oh, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I think that was left over. I'm not sure whether he got it or not. Not sure whether he got it. I don't think he did, and that was left over.
Doesn't look like he did.
Yeah. Now let's zip up to Audi, because Audi's now challenging Pinpoint. Audi 0.4 of a second behind Pinpoint. These two buddies and race buddies. Are there any race orders? No, there are not. Who has the advantage? I will say Audi has the advantage, because Audi is on mediums. Pinners is on softs. Those softs will start to go off now. Unbelievable. Pinto is still not pitted. Now, he either has pitted and our race director is wrong, or he is out there on lap 35 on mediums. One of them two.
I would say, because it shows up in the spectator, as he has not pitted yet either. So
indeed it does.
Yeah, so it looks like he's still operating off the same tires.
Oh, fair play. Pinpoint then in 6th place, and as I said, Audi. I think I mentioned earlier on, these are team buddies. They're not. They're in the same livery. Not sure how that's happened. Oh no, they're not the same liveries. Are they? Slightly different. Right, now let's have a rundown. Now, I'm willing to bet, actually, let me just check. Crikey, crikey, crikey. Bloody Rodder. We missed something there again. No matter what we're saying or what we're doing, if we see something happen on the board, we just flick straight to it. Just jump in front of me, Draco, or I'll jump in front of you or whatever. But Rodder's down into 3rd place. I think he pitted.
He did.
I think he pitted. I said before lap 35, so it's lap 36 now. He's on softs. It's showing that he's pitted. He's now 12 seconds behind Rigel. Rigel is 12 seconds behind C-Hax. It's 24, 25 seconds, 30-second pit stop. He was in first with 7 seconds, so he's pitted. He's pitted and he's on fresh, soft tyres, and he's 12 seconds behind Rigel. Now, lots going on, so let's just remind ourselves and orientate ourselves, and I'll hand over to you for a little while, Draco. First place, C-Hax is out there, medium tyres, he's pitted once. Just put in a lap now, 1:16.9. Second place, 11 seconds behind him, Rigel, pitted once, he's on mediums. He's just put in a time of a 1:16.2. Third place, Rodders, who's pitted twice. He's now on soft tyres, and he is now just put in a time of a 1:16.6. So
incredible.
Yeah, and then Pinto in 4th place. You know,
still hasn't pitted.
Still has not pitted on medium tyres and just put in a 1:18.6. So, you know, I'd say Pinto is now in the ballpark area of now compromising his lap times in out of parity to his ability by virtue of the wear on those tyres. Get rid of those tyres, Pinto.
Yeah, at this point, he's just kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Problem is, you know, if he starts, you know, backtracking before he gets that pit in, he's not going to do himself any favor in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. In cockpit with Flack, earlier on we saw Charger zip over Flack. Now, you know, Flack is all over Charger, like I was going to say, like a nun on a cucumber field, but I think that last time we got complaints for saying nun in a cucumber field, so I say all over him like a priest in a choir club. And yeah, as we go wide shot coming into T1, bang, and he takes Charger coming into T1. So in cockpit with Charger there. Now Charger could have gone defensive, and I'm not, you know, crikey, things happen so quickly. I think I'm speaking quicker than I'm bloody thinking, but you know, Charger is not someone to make things more difficult than it needs to be. But you know, fair play for them to yo-yoing.
Yeah, keep in mind too that these cars, I mean, half a second, 1/10 of a second is everything. You know, you might not see it, and things just happen very, very fast in these cars.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's have a rundown then from the back. Al Gartner, 14th place. There he goes into the pits. That will be his first pit stop. Now, Al Gartner is showing here as on softs. Surely he didn't do 33 laps on softs. Maybe he did. In fact, you know what?
He did. White have, yeah.
He did, you know, and his fastest lap was a 1:18.2, and his last lap was a 1:34. So, you know, apart from the fact that the tyres had gone off, that just goes to show, you know, the faster you are, the less laps you can do. It's a fairly sort of simple equation to work out. If you're going at Al's pace around here, which is, you know, medium to slow and steady and reliable, you know, you can do 34 laps on a soft set of tyres. But Al, you're not buying them. They're not real. Put your boot down, old boy.
It's not going on your charge card.
It's not coming on your charge card. Yeah, you ain't got to pay for them. Debug in 13th place. Lovely livery that. I haven't seen. That would be my livery. Black and orange.
That black and
absolutely
black and bronze, right?
Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice livery. So debug. Hayes-Tune in the pits there. I think there he is. He's in 12th place. Charger hunting down Flack. These two, Flack 9 there. You can see him in the blue and white F1. Charger in the yellow F1. These two yo-yoing backwards and forwards. Not quite sure who's on top or who's receiving. But the bottom line is that they're having their own little battle there, so we'll be enjoying that. Flack 9 in 10th place. 4 seconds behind Jammer in 9th place. The buddy to Rodders in the green and white and red liveried F1. FX doing a wonderful job out the front there, who's Charger's buddy in Pimax Performance, RWB Pimax Performance. FX, our Gandalf, our wizard, our super tech, super guru, and also now my super double friend virtual buddy, because he just bought the same car as me. Don't know whether I told you this before, Draco, Audi RS5. Did I tell you that before? Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that? You're not even going to answer, are you? You're not even going to indulge me, are you? You're not going to indulge me, are you? Hello? Hello, hello? Draco?
So sorry, Discord lagged out on me. No, yes, I know, you're part of the RS5 crew.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. What are you on about? I'm the leader of the RS5 crew. This bugger here, FX, went, oh, they're quite nice, and went out the next day and bought a new one. Say no more.
I think you need to talk to FX. He's calling himself the leader. I'm not wanting to get in the middle of anything.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I had it before him. End of. But he had an Aston Martin before. Super talented guy. Anyway, Audi in 7th place there. We saw do that wonderful first stretch on them tyres there. Really pushed them to the extreme. If he's in the top 3, we're really interested to see what he says about that strategy. He's currently running in 7th place. Pinpoint in 6th place. Just done a 120, fastest 117.1. Doing really well there. The old RWB Dogs of War. And Dave Crew, is the Game of Smug, which is Rigel's partner there. When I say partner, I mean team partner. They're not swapping spit and no phone numbers in the showers or anything like that. They're not partners. They're teammates. Dave Crew in 4th place, doing really well. Rodders in 3rd place, Jammer's partner. Don't have to explain that again, but Jammer's buddy in 3rd place. And you know, earlier on we mentioned about the tyres and the first 3 and the sort of yo-yo effect of softs and mediums, and how the softs sort of close up to the mediums, overtake, and then the mediums have the sort of longevity. Well, that's not really happened, because guess what? Rodders is still 12 seconds behind Rigel, and Rigel is still 12 seconds behind Seahacks. Talking of Rigel, there's Rigel on his mediums, coming up against a back marker there. Who is that? Let's have a look. That's Jammer, I believe. If we go to Jammer now, on the wing of Jammer, Bosch, there's Rigel. So Rigel in 2nd place there, just crossed the line on a 117.0. Jammer letting him go through T1, thank you Jammer. And then Seahacks, way out there, 12.4 seconds on Rigel on medium tyres. Seahacks, otherwise known as Little Cock, because he's also one of our commentators. He's done his passage of right on a Thursday night, as of course Draco has, Jammer has, Pedality being the first that done that sort of little thing. So you don't just hear him, you're seeing him perform. Well, what about you, Tiger? When are we going to see you? You're not. It's as simple as that. When you do, I'll be in a car that I would have practiced for about a year in. So, but this guy doesn't have to. Young, quick, he doesn't even wear glasses yet. I'm limping to the toilet every 2 minutes, for the love of God.
This kid looks like he was born in this car.
Yeah. He's just coming up a back marker there. Who's that? That back marker, is that Pinpoint? I'm willing to bet. Let's have a look. Pinpoint on the wing with Pinpoint. Bosch. No, it's not Pinpoint. So it was I don't know. Don't matter. No. Who is it? Who's that? Let's have a look. Al Gartner. Let's go. Al Gartner. No. Debug. No. Hayes-Tune. No. Charger. No. Pinpoint. Flack. No. Jammer. FX. Pinto.
Audi?
Audi. It was Audi. You're right. Audi. Yeah, it would have been Audi. Yes, it was. Crikey. There he is. Seahacks in front of Audi. So, what does this mean? Well, Audi's in 6th place. Seahacks just lapped him. So we're on lap 42. Seahax has gone through the field, and is now essentially in 5th place again. So he's in 1st place, gone all the way through the field, clearly it's a circuit, and he's now in 5th. So the person that he's looking at now, you know, is essentially, he will be coming across, he'll be coming across Dave Crew soon, won't he? Or Pinto.
He'll be coming up on Pinto, yep.
Pinto has now pitted. Quite extraordinary. You know, he went 41 laps. I think it was about 41 when he pitted. He went 41 laps on those medium tyres. Interestingly enough, out there right now, we've got 6 runners on medium tyres. The rest are all on softs, leading this guy. Seahax now in the pits.
Yeah,
right now, Rodders, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Bosch, Rodders now takes 1st place. Seahax in the pits, still up on the ramp, still up on the ramp.
And he's on
rejoins. Rigel coming round, T14 now, in cockpit with T14. We'll just see Seahax rejoin. Seahax coming out of the pits and onto the line, and bang, Seahax keeps 2nd place. But look, Rodders has now got 14 seconds, 13.5 seconds on Seahax, but Seahax is on new soft tyres. Rodders is now on a set of tyres that, you know, has now done 18 laps.
18 laps,
Rodders will be looking at, probably in the next 2 or 3 laps at the most, of coming in and getting shot of them. The point being that he either now needs to extend the time away from Seahax, or Seahax with new fresh rubber will gain. Now currently it's 14.2 seconds, so we'll keep a close eye on that.
I honestly think that if Rodders wants to go ahead and keep his position, he needs to get in now. If he doesn't get in now, Hax is going to go ahead and continue to chew into that gap and then really drive home the point that Rodders needs to go ahead and get in on new tires so he can outlast him. But it looks like he's going to push this 1 more lap.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's a sound, sage point, is that you know, Seahax will eat into that time, not by virtue of the fact that, you know, they're both level peggers, level peggers with regards to timings, but the tyre differential, how old the tyres are, and Seahax will eat into that. I think Rodders pretty much knows that, and I think you're right. I think that Rodders will balance that off by pitting fairly soon, and then at least then having rubber that's pretty much the same age as Seahax, and then relying on his sort of trackmaster ability and seniority and expertise to close the gap on Seahax as he zips past.
He's still putting up some great times, though. His last lap was 1:16.849, so he's definitely not coming off of the pace. I just wonder, though, with Hax getting into the soft tires, he's going to start chewing into that gap.
Yeah. Interesting. He's going to go for another lap. There he goes. Now, Rigel, 9.6 seconds to Seahax. Now, Rigel's rubber is also old, medium tyres, but you know, chief track master for a reason, because he knows his tracks inside and out, and the risks that he takes are very well calculated, and he's now 7.7 seconds. So he is closing on Seahax. I don't think that will last. I don't think he will close on Seahax. I think Seahax will keep his position, but we'll keep a close eye on those. Sitrep Rodders out in 1st. Seahax in 2nd, 13.9 seconds behind him. Rigel in 3rd. 4th place, Pinto, 35 seconds behind Rigel. So, you know, that first group of 3 are in a league of their own. They're not going to be compromised, in my view. Pinto out in 4th. Dave Crew in 5th. Audi in 6th. Jammer in 7th. Flak 9 in 8th. Charger in 10th. FX UK in 11th. Pinpoint in 12th. H-Tune in 13th. Debug in 14th, and Al Gardner bringing up the rear in 14th. What a great little race this has been so far.
Definitely showcasing the guys that have actually practiced the most. I do have to admit, Rodders, I know, put in quite a few hacks. He was living on this course for the past week. I know Rigel was talking about some of his practice runs. Dave Crew, still not to be forgotten about. He's still fifth, and his name came up. Pino's name came up in the leaderboards. It's definitely showing.
Charger just coming out of the pits now, as he just coming into the pit. Sorry, currently in 10th. So with 19 minutes left of the race, that's definitely the last pit stop for him. Who do we know needs to pit? Well, this guy needs to pit, and he is not going to make them tyres last. But you know what? He's 13 seconds in front of Seahacks. Seahacks, 8.5 seconds in front of Rigel. So that time differentials have not changed in the past lap while we went through the field there. Will Rodders come in this time round? There's 19 minutes left, Rodders. You need the time to be able to challenge Seahacks on freshish rubber. In he comes.
Here he comes. There he goes.
I thought to myself, there's no way that he will risk that further. He needs to be able to have soft rubber.
He's got someone else behind him as well.
Yeah, that's Jammer. Jammer is his teammate coming in. So Seahacks now, let's see Seahacks come around turn 14. Seahacks will cross the line, take P1 as Seahacks now goes into P1. But Rigel, watching Rigel, will Rigel zip up into second? I think he probably will, as Rodders now coming out of the pits. Rigel takes second place. Rodders got plenty of time for no threat from Pinto whatsoever. But what Rodders has got now is fresher rubber than Rigel and Seahacks. Seahacks out in the front will be pushing that car hard. He's on softs, so those tyres will be shot to shit by the time this race finishes. But he will be pushing hard now to extend away from Rigel. Rigel is in second, but he's on mediums. So, shot to shit or not, he will be pushing as hard, and his tyres will not be as off as Seahacks will be towards the end of the race in 17 minutes and 43 seconds time. Rodders' tyres will be shot, but they will not be as shot as Seahacks towards the end of the race. So he will gain time by two things. One, he's got fresh rubber on. Two, towards the end of the race, those tyres are going to be in better condition than Seahacks. And already he's gained 3 seconds on Rigel.
This is definitely that last bit of the race, that jockeying for positioning, the right resources at the right time. We're going to see if this pays off for Rodders, as he's definitely chewing into time.
Yeah, now we can pretty much see where we're talking about here. Let's do that again. So look, we can see there's Seahacks going down the hill through the kink up to T4, and then you've got Rigel just coming down through T3, and you've got Rodders just into T2 now. So Rodders chasing Rigel. You see Charger in front of Rodders there. If we go on the wing of Charger, I think it was Charger. No, it wasn't. It was FX. Let's go with FX. On the ring with FX then. Behind FX, I believe, is Rigel.
Just came into view when he hit that turn. Yep.
Yep. Just can't see, can we? So Seahacks coming into turn 14, let's say now, and then Rigel just coming around T12 into T13, extend away into T14 now, and now into Rodders. There we go, look, Rodders is not that far away, but when we say that, look at the speed along there. Seahacks already gone round T1, round the hairpin. Rigel probably just entering it about now. There we go. And Rodders, of course, along the straight. So them three really are in their own little league. Their tyres are roughly, give or take, notwithstanding, and they've all got something different. So Seahacks is on soft, but he's pushed his tyres more than anyone else. Rigel is on mediums, he's got that longevity. And Rodders on softs, the newest set, has got more probably longevity on the soft compound. So them three there towards the end of this race is going to be very, very interesting.
Wow, and keeping in mind too that the gap between first and third was 21 seconds, it is now 18. Rodders is chewing in time in a lap and a half. This is going to be very interesting to see how this plays on. We still have 15 minutes to go. It looks right now that like Rigel's losing a little ground, whereas Rodders is picking up what Rigel is losing.
Yeah, agreed. And also, interestingly, Pinto is in 4th place. He's 31 seconds behind Rodders. Rodders now 7.5 seconds behind Rigel. Rigel now 9.5 seconds behind Seahax. So these two, Rodders and Rigel, are catching Seahax up. Seahax will know that. He will know that. And I'll tell you right now, he'll be shitting a brick because he knows that in 14 minutes, I'm willing to bet in about... In fact, you know, I'm going to make a call. In the last 8 minutes, the race is going to be very, very close between Seahax, Rigel and Rodders, because Rigel and Rodders will catch up. Pinto, as I said, was 30 seconds behind that group of 3, and then you've got the rest throughout the field. Dave Crew 11 seconds behind Pinto. Audi 10 seconds behind Dave Crew. FX 35 seconds behind Audi. Jammer 4 seconds behind FX. Flak 12 seconds behind Jammer. Pinpoint 5 seconds behind Flak. Charger 6 seconds behind Pinpoint. H-Tune a whole lap down. Debug a lap down and 40 seconds, and then you've got Al back down there on his own, 2 laps behind. 2 laps behind and still racing. That's the important thing. And you know what? He's putting in 122s out there. He'll do that all day, all night, all year. This guy, if you want to know what stamina is, this guy is it. This guy knows what it's like to be under immense pressure and not remotely be concerned. He's what I call in the top 0.001% of human beings in the world, and I mean that with all respect. Now, clearly that's a broad brush statement with that sort of percentage there, but he is. Why? Because I believe he's a surgeon in real life. He's a surgeon. This guy is a nice intellectual psychopath. He can turn down the empathy switch. This guy can cut you in half with a scalpel, fix you, and give you an extra 10 years on your life and not be remotely concerned about it. A bit like airline pilots when an engine, falls off the bloody wing. You don't see them running around with their hair on fire, screaming at the passengers. What the fucking hell do we do? They are super cool and calm.
I'll take things you never want to see on an airline flight for 500, Alex.
They're super cool, calm people in life. And this guy here is one of them, which is why I say, don't, just because he's last, don't discount him. He's one of the top, very, very few sort of personality types in the world. You probably never, ever get this man angry or flustered.
Sometimes it's not a matter of what place you get into, it's whether you finish or not. I mean, ask Luca and Kaz.
Absolutely right. Yep. Luca and Kaz, both of which retired. If you're retired, you can't finish. I had the wonderful experience in 1995 where I'd done the London to Mexico Rally, which is an FIA event from London to Mexico, 32 countries, 16,000 miles, 94 cars started. And I got to Argentina and I was in a bar at night with the great Roger Clark, MBE, who now sadly died, British Rally champion. And I was standing at the bar with him, and he said to me, "Whereabouts are you at the minute?" I said, "I don't know, about 60th." And he said, "Why the down face?" And I said, "60th." And he went, "Well, you never thought you'd win, did you?" And I said, "No, but 60th." And he said, "Listen, Nipper, slowly catch a monkey, just bloody finish." So there's a lot to be said for just finishing a race. It shows stamina, it shows grit, it shows determination and commitment.
Well, it's the Seahax show right now going on, and looks like the actual overall lead now is down to 14 seconds between first and third. You might be right, those last 8 minutes. Let's see.
Yeah, last 8 minutes, I reckon. Now, Rodders is now 6 seconds behind Rigel. Rigel is, 9 to 10 seconds behind Seahax. 2 laps ago, that was 13 and 11. So Rodders has done 5 seconds in 2-3 laps in essentially what was, 4 or 5 minutes. So, as I said, the last 8 minutes, and probably that's a little bit too early, but certainly the last throws of this race, it is going to be exceptionally quick. Now, Seahacks is right out there in first. Let's not take anything away from this guy. He knows all about strategy. He knows how to race. He knows tyres. He knows fuel, although he has had a race where he run out of fuel. He knows what he's doing. Let's not take anything away from him there. He knows what he's doing. He's in a commanding lead, no question. He's got 10 seconds in front of the chief track master, and I reckon I could have a year's head start in front of Rigel and still not be 10 seconds in front of him at the end of it. So let's not take anything away from Seahacks. He is out in front and he is maintaining his speed as best he can. But I also know that on a personality sort of characteristic level, he will be shitting himself right now. But he will just be saying to himself, keep it together, Tom, keep it together, Tom. That's what he'll be saying. This guy here, Rigel, I'd almost probably put him up. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he does for a living or anything. But if just his attitude and his conduct and the way he carries himself in the sim racing world is anything to go by, he's in the same sort of bracket as Al Gardner is in real life. Except in real life, it's just you're just in awe of those sorts of people. In the sim world, you call them smug. And that's why Rigel is so bloody smug, is because he knows he's quick, he knows his tracks, and he knows that he's got great racecraft and he can bring it to you. He won't give a monkeys who you are, he'll bring it to you, and you better bring a bloody AA game if you're going to mix it up with him. But so for Seahacks to be 10 seconds in front of Rigel is a significant achievement. Rodders 5 seconds behind Rigel. Rodders full of passion and energy, currently naked as he is every week in his sim racing room with his headset on. Only races in VR, this guy. Only races in VR. So if any of you out there want any VR tips or whatever, you're looking at the man who can tell you. Super quick, super consistent, lead honcho in RWB, and ultimately very, very quick, chasing up his buddy with 5 seconds. Pinto now down to 33 seconds behind that front three. So either Pinto's slowing down, which he's not because Dave Crew is still 14 seconds behind him, or them three are still moving away. So, as I say, that Rigel and Rodders, 116.8, 116.8, both of them, the pair of them, have not long put in. So, they really are matching each other, aren't they?
And both of which are shaving those tenths of seconds between them and Hacks. So I think Hacks is going to start feeling a little tickle at the back of his neck here pretty soon, and get that spidey sense going of knowing, something's coming, because it's starting. It's down to 13 seconds now for the gap. So, Rodders and Rigel, I don't know what you guys are particularly waiting on. You guys have 7 minutes to do something. I would suggest you put the spurs to the horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Draco, would you do me a favour? Let's have a chat about racer of the event. Who do you think has been racer of the event so far?
Man, I mean, it's kind of hard to really to really discount the fact that Hacks has been a force to be reckoned with most of the actual race. Rodders has been kind of dead on and continues to improve even in the face of adversity. Audi, I mean, are you kidding me? He went almost a whole half of a race on medium tires. I think those four could definitely be made as a case.
Yeah, I agree. It would be interesting, would it not, to speak to Audi, for simply pushing them medium tires, as far as he did. Yeah, it's quite a tough one out there. I think simply by how exciting it was at the beginning, though, I don't think we've had much of a look at a lot of the other guys. I'm inclined to either agree. I'm inclined to agree with three for me, really, to be honest with you. Dave Crew, who's right up there in 5th place, who I know will be very pleased with that position. Audi, because of that tyre strategy at the beginning there. But I'm also looking at Al Gardner. The guy's been out there. He's the epitome of consistency, dedication, and he hasn't binned it. He's 7 seconds. He's 2 laps and 8 seconds behind H-Tune, and he's still going. Yeah, the guys. I think the guy's fairly. I think the guy's. As I said, in real life, quite extraordinary. I think he's a surgeon. So it would be very interesting to see what his sort of psychological sort of take on sim racing is. And he'll probably just say something simple like, never give in, or something like that. So it might be really interesting to speak to Al Gartner.
I agree. I mean, I'm coming up with a nickname for that guy as Iron Man. I mean, he's just sticking with his nose to the grindstone. You got to respect that.
Yeah. Now, look, guys, all right, we messed around with the timings earlier on, and we said, last 15 minutes, last 10, last 8. Well, you know what? We're in the last 4 minutes, and where's this battle you promised us? Well, look in the background there. There's Rigel. It was 14 seconds. It's now 6 seconds. There's 4 minutes left of the race. Seahax's tyres will be shot to smithereens right now. Rigel is on mediums, and those mediums will be over optimum, but plenty of effort, plenty of grip left in them. And Rodders, who is in softs as well, but those softs are younger than Seahax and younger than Rigel's, who's got more grip, as much grip, is now 6 seconds behind Rigel. Now, if you look at the exponential gap, it is Rodders that has closed up more than Rigel. Rigel was 14 seconds behind Seahax. Rodders was 13 seconds, 12 seconds when they came out. Rigel is now 7 seconds behind Seahax. Rodders is 6 seconds behind Rigel. So the fastest out there is Rodders. With 3 minutes 30 seconds left, it is a tough call to say that they're going to be up each other's chuff towards the end, but it will be tight. And Seahax right now, his tyres will be absolutely shot, and I'm willing to bet. What's his last lap now? 117.6. What about 1.17? 117.7. Rigel is a 116.7, so a full second
1 second
quicker. Rodders 117.2, so faster than Seahax, which is half a second. That's enough to gain half a second in that overall time differential, which means that, of course, he is closed up on Rigel. Rigel's now 5 seconds behind Seahax. Seahax will now be sitting in that cockpit absolutely papping himself and not want to. He just can't wait for the end of this race. It's like, there he is. There's Rigel coming to turn 6 now. Let's ride with Rigel for a little bit. Rigel coming out of turn 6, turn 7, turn 8 into turn 9. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. There he is.
It is now a matter of just falling back on your training. Keep it mistake free, keep it clean.
Goodness gracious me. Now that is, to be clear, that is not Seahax in front. Get out of the way, whoever it is. Come around, and he is, fair play. Now Seahax will be along the straight now. There he is, just entering the straight. Rigel coming into turn 14 on the straight now. Wider shot, there he is. There's Rigel now, 4 seconds behind him. Rodders just entering the straight now, so the wider shot. Oh, I was hoping to see them all. So they're all in the same section. But you know what? 1 minute and 30 seconds left of this race. It's a fair assessment that actually, Rigel and Rodders are going to have to eat bloody jet fuel to get to close up even more, I think.
Or one bad mistake from Hax, like I said.
One bad mistake, fair point, yes. These tyres are shot now. Seahax, last lap, 117.5. Rigel was a 116.6 and Rodders 116.9, so bloody hell's fine.
In the famous words of the late, great John Madden, it's Seahax's race to lose right now. It honestly is.
Yeah, absolutely it is. On the wing with Seahax, there's Rigel. We just seen him there, but just a little, all it takes is for Seahax to make one little mistake. Now I have to almost give myself a check up here. With 40 seconds, there's going to be another lap as he crosses the line here. Another lap. I'm almost coming across as if good for Rigel. Roger's going to say, absolutely not. Seahax, absolutely. Come on, you're in first place now. But Rigel is now 3 seconds behind you. and he wants some of your blood.
Less.
Do not.
He's the less now.
Do not screw up this last lap. A lot of time and effort and energy, blood, sweat and tears. I know
He
your
is
mother's
fighting those
watching,
turns.
your brother, your sister, your girlfriend, your dog, your cat. All the fish have been clamped to the side of the aquarium so that they can wash and all. You know, so don't let the pressure of Rigel get to you in any way, shape or form. It's a fair assessment now. Rodders is out of the running and has now accepted the fact that he's in third place. But Rigel, even with half a lap left to go, he will not be giving in whatsoever. He will be wanting to apply the pressure to this man. This man, however, you know, coming into turn 11, there's Rigel there, you know, same frame. This man here will just be whistling Dixie now and just hoping that something major is not going to happen as he gallantly goes around turn 12 or turn 13 into turn 14, the last section, as he now crosses the line in first position.
Well
with
done,
Rigel
Hax.
1.3 seconds behind him in second place, with Rodders 8 seconds behind the leader in total in third place. Very well done, C-Hax. Wonderful racing. Excellent from Rigel. 1.3 seconds, Rigel. You needed another 5 laps to really ensure that you brought it to him and maybe challenge for that first place. I've no doubt. You certainly had the speed on him. Pinto, 40 seconds behind. It just gives you the idea. Look how far behind Pinto is away from Rodders. This guy here is super quick. I mean, like super quick. He will bring it to you, and he's way down the field. But in fourth place, very well done, Thomas. Always great to see you race out there. Fourth place secured. Dave's crew now extending away into T4. Rigel's T14. Rigel's buddy in fifth place. He'll be over the moon about that as well. Excellent.
And here comes the tire whisperer.
The tyre whisperer. Yeah, do you know what? That's what we should call him, shouldn't we? The tyre whisperer. That serial killer. He's harmless. He's a tyre whisperer. How he went, what was it, 36 laps? On 35 laps on softs, was it? On
35
hards, wasn't it?
on mediums.
On mediums. 35 laps on mediums. Unbelievable. Sadly, as the timer kicks in, looks like we won't be able to have the rundown there of everyone. Well, and there we go. We see Audi in sixth position. Jammer, and these guys are still on their last laps. But quite extraordinary. Al Gartner in the end there, 6 laps behind. Still going. He'll still do it. H-Tune, 4 laps behind. Still going. Debug, 3 laps behind. Still going. You know, Charger, Pinpoint, Flak, FX, Jammer, Audi, all 1 lap behind. That's significant. All still going.
They're as right as the mail.
Wow, wow, wow. What a fantastic, fantastic race. So, question, Draco, before we drag them down, let's give them a minute to calm down. Who are we going to be speaking to? We know we're going to speak to C-Hax, Rigel and Rodders. Who is our racer of the event?
I've got to give it to C-Hax. He was consistently in that 116, 117 range. His hard work and his practice really paid off. I'd like to hear from the tire whisperer. How did he get that to work? That is a ton of laps on one set of tires where people were already thinking about their second set. I'd like to hear from Audi on that one.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on that. We can't use anyone in the top 3. We're going to speak to them anyway. But yeah, I agree. We're going to go with Audi. Now, where did he finish in the end? Audi 6th, wasn't it? Was it 6th? Pinto 4th. Dave Crew 5th, Audi 6th. Yeah.
Yep,
so
yep.
yeah, I agree. We'll go with Audi as our racer of the event. Purely, you know, we want to find out what he's done about them time. So we've had enough time now. So let's see whether we can drag them in now. Here we go. Right. Okay, so we're gonna now. Can you drag them in, and then they'll hear me talking, and then they'll know that they're in the commentator channel.
Sure.
You should just be able to drag them in. So we want C-Hax. We should have then Rigel, Rodders, and of course we should then have Audi as well as our race of the event. And they're all in the commentary room now, and they hate us doing this. I know they do because they're probably having a post-race chat, and we've just rudely interrupted and metaphorically shoved them into the commentary room. But we want to have a chat with them before we close down the stream.
Yeah, they'll get over it. That's okay. We're the ones with the microphones.
Now, first of all, to the guys, in general, congratulations to everybody, C-Hacks, Rodders, C-Hacks, Rigel, Rodders, and to Audi. Very, very well done, all of you. We'll speak to each one of you individually. Do apologise about this place, fellas. Charger is supposed to send the cleaner in. He hasn't done for the past 6 weeks. It's a bloody mess. And Draco is just awful in here, so forgive the mess. To you, C-Hacks, Tom Weaver, C-Hacks.
Oh, boy.
Very, very well done. First position, quick question, and then I'll hand over to Draco. You must have been slightly concerned towards the last 3 laps when you saw the chief track master go from 14 seconds to 1.3 seconds and be glad that there probably wasn't another 5 laps or not. How did you feel?
I made a massive mistake by putting softs on for my final stint, thinking that they'd if I just conserved them, I'd be able to bang some rubber down in the later part of the stint and just pull away. That didn't work out. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. And a tip to anybody listening, don't experiment during a race. I should have just stuck with the mediums and gone for it, because I would have been able to just hold him off, no problems, I think, on mediums. But yeah, I was definitely very worried. One more lap and he would have had me, basically, or I would have been defending and he may have got me. So I'm just glad to get the win. Yeah, it was a phenomenal race. Yeah, just happy to have won it.
How many Hail Marys was that, Hacks? I mean, you look like you're barely holding on for dear life at the end. Those last 4 laps, those guys were catching you. I mean, did you feel it?
Oh, yeah, it was very... I just turned off the differentials and just concentrated on it in the apexes. But yeah, the rear end was slipping all over the place. And yeah, it was a really bad idea to go onto softs. I should have just stuck with the mediums. But, thankfully I managed to keep it together and hold them off.
Yeah, you've done a great job. Let's not take anything away. And I gave myself a bit of a check-up on the stream because I was turning into an individual Rigel fan club. And I had to sort of give myself a slap round the head to say, hang on, wait a minute. Let's not take anything away from C-Hacks. Doing a fantastic job out there. But you're absolutely right, as I'm sure when you watch the stream back, during the week or tonight or whenever you do, that there was very clearly 3 different strategies of tyres at the front. And we saw how each one of those strategies had their effect. And but the bottom line was, you won the race. You were exceptionally quick out there. It was very clear towards the last end of the race that you were struggling with those soft tyres, but you held them off. And for that, you should not take anything away from yourself. So very, very, very many congratulations to you, Tom. And we'll now talk to Rigel.
Well done indeed.
Yeah, for sure. Rigel, as I said, I had to stop myself from a sort of Rigel fan club out there 1 minute, because I was looking at the time. It was like 9 seconds. He's only got 7 seconds. He's only got 3 seconds. Oh my God, there it is. But you must have sort of chuckled to yourself with the fact that I say chuckled, and I mean that in a sort of strategic, smug way, of course, that you were on mediums, Tom was on softs, and that towards the end of the race he would be struggling.
Yeah, I'd done the research before the race and realised that the softs would start to go off after 10 laps. And when he stopped on lap 44 and crew chief told me he was going on to softs, I thought, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make that. And so I knew I was going to close that gap. I was just watching the relative times, but he hung on for a lot longer than I thought he would. But anyway, going back to the beginning, I made the schoolboy error. So you can't be a total fan of my club. I forgot to put the bloody thing. I forgot to put the bloody thing in gear, didn't I?
We did wonder what on earth had happened at the very beginning, but because all of a sudden there was no Rigel. But how could you not put it in? Even I put it in gear. Let's have a chat afterwards. We'll sort you out.
I stood here thinking, right, calm, be relaxed, sat down, right, all prepped, all ready, yeah, watching the lights, not going to rev it too soon, and the lights go green and nothing's happening.
Too relaxed.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it kind of made it exciting, though, to be honest. It helped a bit of focus. I had a hell of a scrap with Pinpoint. I knew his tyres would go away again. After 8 or 10 laps, but I managed to squeak past him, and then it was a good battle with a few others after that. So it actually made it quite exciting. I think being up front, I might have had too much to think about if I'd been up there, and it would have been a bit too much like a time trial.
Yes,
So it added to the excitement, at least.
Yeah, it was really great. And now on the pinpoint thing, sorry, Draco. On the pinpoint thing, pinpoint. Fantastic move. We didn't have a wide enough shot to see whether actually it was a very well executed strategic move, tactical move rather, that he made on you there. Whether you'd gone slightly wide or whether that was a bit too, blasé. What was your perception of it? Was it a good move?
I tried to move on him early on. And I was a bit surprised to see him lunge up the inside into turn 2, I think it was.
Yeah, it's turn 2.
Yeah. I was like, that's a bit cheeky. And then I had to chase him for a bit, but then I started to realise that into the fast left, which is like turn 5 or 4 or 5, he was running wide and starting to get a bit raggedy. So it was about just biding my time there.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I asked you, is because we were in cockpit with you when all of a sudden Pinpoint just appeared like an Exocet missile, right in front of you. And we wasn't sure whether he'd dived up the inside, whether it was a late braking move or what had happened there. But so be it. We've heard your point. That's great. Draco, over to you to Rigel very quickly before we sort of move on to into Rodders and then our race for the event.
I have to admit, Rigel, you look pretty surgical over there in most of the actual spots there. You consistently cut the time. What was your strategy for the last 5 laps?
Go like hell. I was pretty confident about halfway through that I'd picked Rodders. I'd looked into the soft strategy, and it was slower because of the heating issue. So I thought, as long as I get past and in front of him and get a gap by his second stop, I should be okay. And then when he came out, he was like 9 seconds behind, and he closed it down to 4 or 5. But this was like about 10, 12 laps into his stint, so I knew by that point my times were getting better and his were petering out. So I was pretty confident of that. And then it was just watching the relatives to Hacks and just praying it started to come down. But it just one more lap, and I would have had him.
Yeah. Well,
definitely a heartbreak at the end there, but you put up a hell of an end there. Sorry, Tiger, didn't mean to jump in.
No, just take the way. Take it.
Just wanted to congratulate you on a strong finish. That was definitely exciting to watch.
Thanks for that. It was a taxing race. I think all 3 here will agree. It was really, really intense. But at the same time, it didn't fly by, but we got through it a lot quicker than I.
Yeah, I'm just eating a ginger nut. Sorry, Draco, do you want to lead into Rodders?
Oh, my favorite globetrotter, man. Back from Mexico into the homeland and had a little time. What was your strategy going in? It looked like you had consistently made moves that kept you towards the top of the actual race ladder, and some pretty smart tire strategies. What was your thought process going in?
Oh, well, I mean, I think Hacks and Rigel actually picked a better strategy. I made a bit of a novice mistake in that I didn't actually test mediums because I felt so comfortable with the soft strategy I had. I think if I'd implemented it better, there would have been probably a 3-way fight at the end. But I got a dream start with Rigel getting off the line slow, getting into the lead. I got a wee shunt off Pinto in the first bend, but fortunately it didn't affect me. Pulled more than a second gap the first lap. That was my strategy, to get that gap and keep increasing it. Pinto, I think, was in the same strategy as me the first stint, so he kept a good, he kept close to me. But I made a mistake going into the long right-hander after the fast blind left. I caught the grass as I braked, just tiny fraction over. Lost obviously all my grip, went wide. Pinto get past me, and I made another mistake lapping somebody, I think, prior to that. So that loss of time. The next thing, the 3 of us are fighting for the lead. That was not my intention. So there's a wee, I'll be checking the replay. There was a wee, I mean, I don't think it would have mattered, but I was a bit displeased at one of the corners. I felt I was going to come out in front and I get hit by somebody that put me behind Hacks and Pinto. and let Hacks pull a gap that I couldn't get back into DRS. So, but they picked a better strategy. Bad first stint, and from there it was an uphill fight. I just had to hope that I could get there. I knew Hacks had an advantage. I must admit, I thought Rigel was out of it. I didn't know how far back he'd fallen. I seen him go off my scoreboard. And when I came out the last stint, I still thought I could maybe close that gap. I don't know why I thought he was in softs, but he wasn't. He was in mediums. So, yeah, I closed it down to about 5 seconds, and then then it just started increasing. I was like, no, all hope was lost. But it was an exciting race. I must admit, I'm a bit disappointed because I think I didn't implement my strategy the way I should. But I think I also picked the wrong strategy. So, Hacks and Rigel done the work, or checked what they needed to check better than me. So they deserve first and second.
It's a very good point. Sorry, Rigel, go.
Apart from putting it in gear, of course.
Yeah,
apart from that.
And putting it on softs at the end. Whoops.
Well, I must admit, when I saw you came out, and we were saying at the time, Draco and I, Rodders must be coming in this lap. He's he knows that C-Hacks had pitted. C-Hacks had come out on softs. That was interesting to see C-Hacks do that for the last sort of stint. And I expected you to come in, to use 1 or 2 laps maximum to sort of extend away and then come in and then chuck mediums on. That's what I was expecting.
I didn't test them. I remember thinking I should, but I thought you balance your time through the week to practice, and I decided just to that track. I'm sure we'll all see it. It's really, really hard to be consistent on it. So I thought the more just laps I put in, that's going to pay dividends more than anything. But it was silly. I should have checked mediums and come up with a better strategy.
It was the heat, the tyre heating. It was doable on mid-Ohio last week because the corners weren't long. Mm-hmm. But on this, there was quite a few long parabolic corners.
Absolutely right. And actually, you just hit the nail right on the head. When you watch the stream back, you'll hear us talk exactly about that. And dare I say it, Draco, we were absolutely spot on, were we not, old boy, with regards to our estimate of tyre wear and when they would be coming in. Notwithstanding, of course, which is a perfect segue, and thank you, Rodders, and very well done, the perfect segue, George hates that word, to Audi, who we've now renamed from serial killer to tyre whisperer. How on earth did you make mediums last? What was it, Draco? 34 laps?
35 laps.
How on earth, Audi?
Incredible.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure myself, but I know the mediums are extremely stable, so you can run them down to 0%, and you will as long as you keep on taking fuel away, you will keep consistent times. So I was just keeping an eye on the tire wear and fuel loads. But I was originally on a 2-stop strategy, but I was thinking before the first stop, I chuck in enough fuel to last the race, so I get a shorter pit stop at the last pit stop. I may leapfrog a couple of guys by that. But then I saw nearing the end, I thought, oh, I might make it.
And so to be clear, did you change your strategy, in the first sort of quarter of the race when you realised that actually, crikey, I'll make these at this race pace, with this loading, I can make these tyres last longer? Did you change the strategy?
Well, I changed it in a way that I took away the fuel in the last pit stop, and I was trying to get the tires to last as long as possible, and then check on softs if I could get below 10 laps left, because I did the same research as Rigel. The softs last maximum 10 laps, and then it is a cliff. They just drop right off.
Yeah.
As I said, during the race, and I coming out looking at the clock, and it says 20 minutes left, and I still had 30 or 40% left on my front left. So I'll just say, let's try, see how long I can go.
Yeah. Now, Draco, I'm sure you'll agree with this, but the tyre whisperer serial killer, that's almost a rap, Audi should probably get into a room with Pinto and probably shut the door, and they should probably chat to each other about that, because Pinto was another one, was he not, that went an exceptionally long way on soft. Was it
On
soft?
soft,
On
yes.
soft, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And that was
he was
incredible.
20 plus laps, which was again quite extraordinary. Anyway, Audi, that was really why we voted you as the race of the event, purely because of the tyre strategy that you implemented and the way in which you were racing. You can't race on medium tyres for that sort of length of time unless you're exceptionally consistent, exceptionally smooth, but at the same time you've got to have a fast race pace to maintain a position. And you finished 6th, and as a result of that, as a result of that strategy. So very well done to you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I have to say, all the games we played, I always tire strategy
game
sims.
Thank you.
Tires is the one thing I always been good at. I'm not as quick, but my tire wear is low. So.
Well, you're awesome, mate. Okay, I'm going to close down the stream. You guys are welcome to hang around or zip off. Thank you very much to C-Hacks. Very well done to you. First position. Second place, Rigel. Third place, Rodders. I have no doubt when you watch the stream back that you will enjoy, very, very hopefully, as they all will, the coverage we gave you. It was very clear. I really, if I could press time, pause, I would have paused and then I would have added on another 3 laps, because that would have been super interesting towards the end there. So very well done to you 3, and very well done to Audi. Brothers, you're flashing. Is there something you wanted to say before I close down?
Oh, no, sorry. Not on purpose. I was going to say a wee something, but that wasn't why I did it.
Oh,
don't
no,
worry.
cool.
Just ignore me.
All right, so, well, there you go, ladies and gents. That is the end of round 7, Hungary Ring in Hungary. So where have we been so far? Red Bull, Paul Ricard, Imola, Shanghai, Silverstone, Mid-Hawaii. That was Hungaroring. Next week, join us in Belgium for Spa, Francorchamps. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you've been sim racing or had a little play around since, in 1993, or whether you had a couple of laps, in the past few weeks and it's your first entry into sim racing. You will have played around Spa. Everyone's an expert at Spa Francorchamps. It doesn't matter. Everyone knows it, and that is why it's going to be so very, very interesting with RWB.
Everyone fancies themselves.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Even I'm a super wizard around there in a Mini. I'll bring it to you.
Everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert around Spa, so that will be exceptionally interesting. So that's where we are. Round 8. Join us next week. I'm not closing yet. Join us next week for round 8, which will be Spa Francorchamps. Now, before then, we want you to come back tomorrow night. And I'll tell you why. Because tomorrow night, very, very special, 9:30, NSU TTS, lovely little cars in the UK and Europe, not Eastern Europe, which is where they were formed, made, but in Europe and in the UK, the Hillman Imp variant. Tomorrow night, we have got a special race at 9:30, special guest star, Gamer Muscle is going to be joining us for the 20-minute qualifying. No, not 20-minute qualifying, 10-minute qualifying, 2 20-minute races. So he's going to be joining us at the Raceroom Raceway bridge sections. So please join us for that. That will be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to have someone like that.
If I can just, sorry, Tiger, if I can just add, we'll be putting that track can take up to 36 players, so it's going to be opened up to 36, and based on last week, we expect it to be full. So it's going to be a rather interesting race.
It'll be interesting to watch the upside down bathtub on wheels go ahead and make it around the course. It'll be fun.
Tumbleweed. Lost Tiger.
All right.
Quick, Draco, say something.
Something. No, kidding. Well, while Tiger's going ahead and getting his stuff kind of, rearranged around here, we wanted to thank you guys for tuning into this race. Rodders, Rigel, and Hacks, great race. Audi, your tire expertise is second to none, and we thank you very much for that. It was a hell of a race to watch, guys. Thank you so very much. And we'll definitely go ahead and get things sort of primed, ripped, and ready for Spa Francorchamps and see how you guys do. I know you guys are probably really looking forward to that one. Well, let's be honest, that's a racer's course that'll definitely be pretty good. Tiger, you back with us yet, or am I still tap dancing?
Choking on a ginger nut.
Oh dear Lord! See, that's what happens. Oh well. Well, in any case, from the commentators booth here, we want to thank everyone for joining us. And he was Tiger, I am Draco, and if you know our motto, have fun, race clean, and race without borders. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us in the Race in the Stream. We will see you next week for the next FRX17 and tomorrow night for the TTRS run, the next run here with Gamer Muscle. In any case, this is Draco for RWB. Signing.
Bloody Discord. I'm still
Oh,
here.
there we go.
Oh.
What happened?
I don't know whether it's just fucking around or something.
Oh.
Why have they got live up here?
Doesn't that mean it's picking up our chat?
I.
Good night.